Hello, world. Thank you for being there. Time to stop being there and to come here. Come check out my live stream. I don't really have much of a topic. I'm just hungry. I need funds so that I can eat food. It's amazing how that stays the story. 'Cause nobody's gonna hire somebody who has warrants. And people don't seem to realize that's the case. They're like, well, why don't you just go take care of the warrants? It's like, yeah, I fucking wish I could. I need money to do that. And I don't get enough money to go take care of the warrants. I don't even get enough money to eat. Well, why don't you go to the church or the government and see if they'll help you out? Well, because they're not going to help me out. I'm not part of their church, and I'm a felon. So the fucking. That's how that goes. And the reason why I'm a convicted felon is because this guy who CSA'd his own 4-year-old daughter was assaulting somebody, and I stabbed him to make him stop assaulting someone because that someone was blue in the face. And if I didn't take action, nobody was going to take action. And the police have a response time of like at least 5 minutes. And a lot can happen to someone that's blue in the face in 5 minutes. But then, so I should have fought it in court and I would have won. But they timed everything perfectly, amazingly, so that I had to plead guilty to be there for my daughter being born. Which I don't know that a lot of people would have done that. But I did that. I accepted a felony conviction so that I could be there for my kid. Because it was the only way to guarantee my release in time. So, yeah, I was there for my daughter's birth. And that's every man can't say that. Just watched The Civil Rights Lawyer where the 19-year-old girl uh gets arrested in the Mustang but at someone's house, and her dad trashes her and implicates her. All those horrible. He's not a good guy. There's a lot of not good people in this world, and I don't understand how you could treat your family like that. I could never treat my family like that. Hello, viewer. Thank you for joining me. I don't really have much of a topic. Um, I do exist here on the live stream, and I need to eat food. I don't have funds for myself to ingest food. I'm handing out green cards today for $7. Anybody sends me $7 gets a free green card to America. Um, I will become a Mormon in LDS, and I will take on many husbands and wives to issue green cards to anyone with $7. I will polygamy I will polygamy immigrants just to get people here in America. Anyone with $7 can have a green card and be an American. Um, if Trump keeps going the way that he's going, I'm gonna have to lower the price to like $5. But right now, because it's still kind of popping over here, I am charging $7 for one green card. Um, After the first deal is taken, me and you are gonna have to go become Mormons so that I can take on many wives and husbands. See, they don't talk about polygamy with husbands. That's not a topic. I don't think I've ever encountered such an idea anywhere. But I don't care what your gender is. I just care if you've got $7. Greenbacks for green cards. That's the program. Uh, anybody interested? Just shoot me an email. Just donate today on Venmo and PayPal at ComicBrandon. If you send me at least $7, I will marry you and get you a green card, and you can be like Eddie Murphy and come to America. Uh, so sometimes people don't know because I have a dry delivery that I'm hilarious, and these are jokes. I'm joking. You can't actually do any of that. That's not how things work. Um, Especially if it's broadcast on the internet. It's just not how things work. Also, I don't think that actually works out very well because I know one person who did get married for the green card, and the guy turned out to be crazy, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna chop her up someday, and because he's verified crazy, like for real. I don't even like to use the term crazy, but like he's violent and imagines things and then commits those imaginations to reality. And to me, that's what crazy is. Uh, sure, he's probably got some neurological disorder from his genetics and this and that. And there just that doesn't mean he's not crazy. But sometimes being crazy pays off because you have to imagine success to even want success and see a pathway to success because and nobody else is going to imagine it for you or do it for you. So it's okay to be crazy. You got to be a little bit crazy in this world to make it. But he's like, I'm going to chop someone up in their sleep kind of crazy, and he just hasn't done it yet. And I don't know who you think is marrying people for green cards, but I happen to know that is that is a real hustle that people are into, and it's part of why people have so many kids is so that they can either put them to work on their farm or they can trade them off to someone. Wild stuff. But at the same time, you kind of want your kids to have a better life than you. So it's somewhat understandable. If I lived somewhere where the people didn't have human rights and somebody was like, "Hey, you can come over here and have human rights," I'd be like, "Well, no, I can't do that because I got to take my whole family with me." But if you can guarantee human rights for this one person with whom I share a bond and I am related, that'd be cool. I could totally understand that. um, but I need funds to eat. I am now selling green cards for $6. Anybody got $6? I'll give you a green card, and with that green card, you can come to America. You can enjoy all of the American things that I can't afford or enjoy myself, such as McDonald's. Because if your family's got enough money to throw around $6 to get you to America, they've got Big Mac money too. So anybody with $6, I say I lowered the price. It was $7. I was trying to at the top of the stream. I was trying to get people over here for $7, but now I need you give me $6. I will go and get you a green card. United States of America, right on top. Welcome to America. Did I turn that on? Yeah, it's still working. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So anybody wants a green card, anybody wants to live in America under Trump right now, I will you know what? Just because Trump's president, I will marry you and give you a green card for $5. 5 United States dollars will get you a United States residency for the rest of your life, for you and your loved ones to come later on. You know, they fucking once you're here, that's how that works. You be the anchor baby. You could be the anchor baby for your entire family and come to America for just $5 because nobody in America wants to feed me. So why wouldn't I just do that? You know, anybody wants to come to America and marry a beautiful man. You got $4 and you got yourself a green card. First come, first serve. Offer only valid while supplies last. Since they're forged green cards, the supplies are going to last for a very long time. As long as I can keep making them. And I'm pretty sure, see, you give me the $5, I get a whole new stack of paper to make green cards out of and still have a few bucks left over to go get myself like a McDouble or something. It just anything. There's a Walmart not far from here, and that applies to everywhere in America. And I want to go buy some food so that I can eat some food. You know, food's kind of important to the enrichment of the human body and mind. Without food, you cease to exist. And I've combated that idea more than a few times, and every time I end up on, except for that one time. One time I decided, but then it didn't work out. But then most of the other times I decide, you know what I do? I want to live. I want to be a person, and things just don't work out. It was August of 2021. And I had gotten particularly frustrated with the fact that my kid's mother is uncooperative when it comes to raising and seeing my daughter. And I was alone in a hotel room, and I strung myself up real good. I tied the knot real good, and I just woke up anyway, and I was mad. I was so mad that I had failed at this endeavor, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make this the whole world's problem now. Because I didn't want to be here. And every day I just get reminded more and more why that is that like it's because people are very uncooperative and weird. I don't know. They let other people starve and they think it's funny. They think it's cool that other people are starving and that they're doing well. Um, Makes them feel good to know that other people are doing worse than them, and that's horrible. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of a society that makes greedy people rich. I don't want to be a part of a society. And so, like, the only way I saw to fix these problems was just to exit and not be part of society. Now, there's better ways to go about that. Is you could try to educate people. You could try to connect with people, so that way they'll learn to be less horrible, because a lot of the times when those horrible people, what it is they're just disconnected from other people. They don't actually know what's going on. They just have like this deep psychosis based on beliefs that they developed themselves without any input from anyone else. And now, are these people wrong? Not always, not always. Ted Kaczynski had a lot of good ideas, even though I'm technically smarter than him and better at math. I still don't think that exploding people is the solution. I don't think that you take you take it out on innocent people. But then again, are there really any innocent people? Or is everyone complicit in a scheme to destroy the impoverished and enrich themselves? I don't know. I'm not inside everyone's head. I'm inside my head, where I don't think I don't think like that. I don't like to capitalize for people who have less than me. I'm more of a Bernie Madoff kind of. If I could if I could have access to people with billions of dollars and get them each to invest $10 million, and then just run away to the Bahamas with that money, that's kind of more my speed. That's kind of more what the kind of crimes I would commit, because but also I probably wouldn't even do that, because I like to do things legit. I like to see success. There's a lot of joy that comes with a job well done. And so if I had a plan, I would share that plan. Like right now, my plan, right, is to have multiple plans based on how much funds I'm able to get access to. If I can get like $40, I might eat something and send the rest over to an Uber driver to take me to a comedy venue. But if I get like $500, I'm close to my goal of being able to hop on a train and go where I need to be to straighten out the warrant so I can get work. If I get like $3,000, I would buy myself a crappy car from that runs, and then I would use that to get myself where I need to be. And then I would live in it until I had enough money to buy a house. So I have different levels, different tiers of different plans. And it all starts with you buying your first green card for just $3. For $3 American, you can become an American citizen today. Well, probably not today. It takes a while for the paperwork to go through, but we can get that process rolling for just $3. Hello, viewer. Thank you for joining me. Glad to have you here, because otherwise I'm just talking to myself. And I don't like to do that, because I don't like myself. I don't like hearing my voice. I don't like any of it. So it's good that someone else is here to make me less crazy. See, I guess that's the line between a crazy person and a genius, is whether someone else is listening or not. That might be it. That might be the line. Speaking of, does everyone know that Einstein actually didn't come up with all of his ideas and he stole some of them from his wife because he knew his wife wouldn't be taken seriously by the misogynistic people? That's a fact. That is not the way the world should be. People should not be taken less seriously because of things they can't control, like the fact that they are a woman. That's not a reason. If you can answer any question with because they're a man or because they're a woman, you're probably not a very thoughtful, intelligent individual. Why should you provide? Oh, 'cause you're a man. Well, that doesn't line up with reality. That doesn't line up with reality at all. People should just, and then they act like, oh, well, you gotta, like, these resources are just everywhere. They used to be everywhere. It used to be that you could uh, go harvest some trees or some fruit, but then now they have buildings. They put buildings up on top of all the food, and now all the food's inside buildings somewhere, uh, probably going to be thrown away rather than eaten, and that's disgusting. America throws away enough food every day to feed the whole planet. How cool is that? Isn't that great? Isn't that awesome? And then meanwhile, there's people starving in the streets. And that's great. Isn't that cool? Isn't that awesome? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that such a wonderful fact? Isn't that amazing that people could be so cruel to each other? As to have the resources that someone else needs and to just not give it to them. That's good, right? And so that creates the circumstances where people will scam and lie to get what they need, because who gives a crap at the end of the day, as long as you get what you need. Now, I don't conduct myself in such a way. I have principles, not because I think I'm going to hell or heaven, but because it's just the way I prefer to exist. I'd rather be a reliable, honest person that does what I say I will. And then, despite having that reputation, it's difficult for me to make friends, because as much as people say they respect resilience and honesty, they really don't. They do until it's turned on them, and then so people change their minds, and they're dishonest with themselves. They have the cognitive dissonance. They have the awareness of like a chipmunk, and they don't understand that they are a person in a society because nobody's actually held accountable. It's because nobody's nobody. Something I noticed throughout my life is that people do not take their jobs seriously, which is part of why communism won't work. Is because people it's right now where people have the ultimate motivation, you know, riches. They still don't do a good job. They'd rather be on their phone. Like, and I'm talking nurses, doctors, people that really matter are just fiddling with their phone and halfway dismissive, sometimes mean and cruel, but they're not fully invested in their jobs like they should be. And communism would actually just make that worse. People would care less in a communist society. That what the goal though is to educate people enough to know that this is your duty and that you should take pride in your duty. You should be a prideful person who enjoys their work. And if you don't enjoy your work, find a new job. Find new work because there is work out there. And now you're like, oh, but then the sanitation, who's going to do the sanitation? Nobody wants to do that. Guys like me would do it. Guys like me who have a sense of duty and I can really, that sense of duty we'll talk about. Anyway, so I can find enjoyment in anything because I got the tism. And so what it is I could just feel good to be moving around and involved. And so that's what that's but the society needs a lot of education to get us there because right now in the most evil possible society, most people still do not give a shit about doing a good job. And to me that's kind of weird. I don't know. And then you go to the company and it's like, well, you can't find good help these days. It's like, oh, have you tried paying people like a reasonable amount of money? It's like, yeah, but then we cut their hours to 20 hours a week to make sure that they don't qualify for insurance and make sure that they don't have enough money. That's what ends up happening. So it's a vicious cycle of fuck before you get fucked. Good job, people. Good job, humans. You're crushing humanity. You're doing a great job. And then increasing the carbon in the atmosphere to create a global warming effect due to greenhouse gases. So that way the polar ice caps melt and then everyone drowns. And then the people that don't drown get to be lit on fire by the sun because the atmosphere is going to get destroyed. And so, yeah, that's you guys are doing great. And you can't play unaware forever, and then you can't do what the Republicans do and just outright deny facts forever because eventually it's going to be your backyard on fire and you're going to have to go, do you want to my backyard's on fire? I don't know what is going on. Nobody told me that my backyard was going to be on fire, and now my backyard's on fire. And it's like, oh, no, we've been screaming since like 1910 that, that industrialization is bad and that it's a compounding factor of effects where people will not give up even the slightest convenience where, I can't even get $3 for a green card. I can't get $3 from the world to make sure I can eat food, even though I'm offering a perfectly valid, very real United States citizenship. Multiple, because I'm going to join the LDS so I can have as many husbands as husband wives as the husband. I'm going to do people husbandry is what's going to happen. I'm going to just start, because you guys want to act like cattle and have someone make all the decisions for you. So then why don't you just let me be that guy? I make pretty good decisions when I have the right resources. I make horrible decisions when I'm limited on options. But that's not really a decision, is it? Is when you have no options and you do the one thing that you can. Is that really deciding, or is that just doing what needs to be done? Who's to say? Robert Sapolsky goes in on this quite a bit, and he's a lot more experienced with the brain stuff than I am, because I just have a brain. That doesn't mean I know how they work. But Robert Sapolsky, he cuts brains open and studies them. And then he does a podcast with his daughter trying to make people smarter. So that way we can care more about ourselves and our work and do better work. So that way we can overthrow capitalism. Because communism would be actually, in fact, a much better way to live for everyone, because then everyone would start off on equal footing and be able to build from there. But no, you people are like resource guarding, like a dog that used to live in the streets. And you people need to, my food, everything's going to hell. I gotta protect myself and my family. I gotta collect boxes. I gotta collect boxes of food. I need boxes of food. I need buckets of food. Never fuck them. I need boxes with buckets in them. And I need all the food. Nobody else can have any fucking food. And we've seen it with the COVID. You can toilet paper. You can't even let other people wipe their asses because you're a fucking scared little bitch. Weird, strange way to exist. And now we're giving up all we had. So I was watching Michael Stevens. You might know him as Vsauce. Very smart guy, very intelligent dude. And he's talking about how like 6% of the water that's on the planet is actually fresh water, and only like 1% of that 6% is accessible to us. And then we're using a lot of that to cool down data centers because of the AI. You got to feed the AI something. It's a trade-off. You want the AI to think for you and do all your art because you don't give a fuck about people. You're going to suffer for it. You're going to have to pay more for water, so that way only rich people can have clean water. And then everyone starts to die, and then what's going to happen is the society is going to erode because you're not going to have any workers. You're not going to have anybody that's willing to do the work anymore because capitalism won. And so what's going to end up happening is people are going to have to resort to survival measures. And when people are doing survival measures, those rich people who have the water are going to be sitting in their little fancy homes like, oh, look how crazy and savage these people are. Oh, if you don't give them just a morsel, they start eating other people. And that's reality, folks. That's what really happens. That's what's necessary. And if you go, it doesn't matter. It's not just brown people. It's not just black people. Not just white people. It's not just Asian people. Those are yellow. And you don't get to just put that on one group of people, because what ends up happening is if any group of people gets desperate enough, you start to eat humans, because it's the only thing that's around that has any fucking nutritional value at all. So I would like food to prevent me from starting a revolution of cannibal communists. How's that sound? $2. $2. You get a green card, and you get a stay on the cannibal communist revolution. Cool? Good deal? I think it's a pretty good deal, because I just want to eat food. That's all I want to do. I want to eat food like a normal person, because you have to do that every day. You have to eat food every day, or your body starts to shut down. And you lose the little bit of control that you have over this meat sack with this water balloon of blood vessels. And if you start to lose it becomes outside of your control, because your brain just still goes, like I mentioned, into survival mode. And then you start like gnawing on trees, and people go, look at that guy gnawing on a tree. Pretty fucking crazy, right? We can do something about that. And it's to do something to help the guy eat real food. No, it's very rarely to help the guy eat real food. It's let's institutionalize him and study him and see why he's crazy. And it turns out, when people don't have enough food, they start eating each other in trees. They start eating tree bark. They start eating each other. They start eating family pets. It's a fact. When the blizzard of 78 happened and people got snowed into their house, people, white people, black people, brown people, Asian people, those are yellow, they started eating their pets. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Well, when you put somebody in tight enough of a situation, that's what's going to happen. Is they're going to eat the dogs. They're going to eat the cats. They're going to eat the squirrels. But then there are no more squirrels. So we have, right now, we're in the middle of a mass extinction event. We have species of animals and insects just falling off the face of the earth on a daily rate, because of what people are doing. Because of, and nobody wants, see, they tune in and they're like, oh, hey, this seems interesting, and then they find out it's their fault, and they're like, well, I don't want to hear that. I want to go watch some crazy nonsense that doesn't mean anything. I just want to escape from reality for a little while, and this guy, he's bringing me back to reality with truth, and I don't like that even one bit. I don't want to be associated with that. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to know what's going on in the real world. I don't want to know why people do the things that they do. I just want to stare at a screen and go, right? You know, it's like Idiocracy, but it's worse because the Mediocrity was just a fucking movie. And in fact, they didn't demonstrate all the cannibalism that would be going on in a society that's covered by garbage and choked by carbon molecules in the sky. You guys love diamonds so much. It's made out of the same stuff that's choking you. So I don't understand that. Why people pay so much money for diamonds when it's made out of the same exact material that's creating the global warming effects that's going to kill everyone. And we're still at a precipice where we could turn it back just a little bit and stop being so wasteful and horrible. But I don't think anybody really cares enough. They're like, it's the apocalypse. Yeah, let's bring on the apocalypse. It's God's will. Hell yeah. And so what do? I try to minimize my impact by not using so much resources and to try to be a little conscious about where I can where I put my energy in funds. But what can one man do? What can one man do? I can't afford to feed myself. So when I do get like the few little dollars that I do get, which I probably won't get, which means I'm wasting my time here, which means I have to probably end the live stream and go outside in the freezing cold to beg for food because this isn't working. This isn't working. That's it. And what can I do? You know, free will doesn't exist. Robert Sapolsky is a treasure. Protect that man. Thanks for watching. I love you. Bye.